Okay, Netflix is releasing the Bad Guys series, where we see their origins as the city's most wanted group of thieves, competing to be number one, while discovering never-before-told facts about them and even the mentor of Mr. Lobo. So let me tell you, the bad guys breaking in. Chapter 1. This history begins with the bad guys, who in their early days are on one of their first heists, where they steal a very famous video game machine and make an epic getaway. Lobo believes they will soon be the most famous villains, but they soon discover that the authorities weren't following them. Then, they discover that they were following the Night Owls, who are about to reach the number one spot on the most wanted list, while they aren't even in the top 10. So Lobo loses hope, and some even want to leave the team. At that moment, Mr. Wolf comes up with a grand heist plan, so they prepare to carry it out, hoping to become as famous as even the Scarlet Thief. The problem is, when everyone is ready, they discover that the painting they intend to steal is incredibly cute. So, Mr. Wolf and Snake think it over for a while, deciding instead to just sign a small piece of artwork to be recognized. After an accident, they quickly escape the scene, discovering on the news that they have indeed become popular, but they believe it's just for the theater, since they could have actually stolen the painting and didn't. Meanwhile, the boys are also happy about it, as they are gaining popularity as the bad guys, without actually being bad, so they decide to stay with Mr. Wolf. Chapter 2. Then, they discover they're not yet in the top 10, so they try more heists, but nothing gets them on the list. Suddenly, they learn that one of Mr. Shark's favorite products is being discontinued, so they think they can steal the secret formula, which is heavily guarded. So, they put their plan into action and break into the factory, splitting into two groups. Shark's team encounters some setbacks, while Wolf and Snake manage to find the formula, but also another treasure, the products themselves. They eat them, but, on the other side, the others also run into problems. They encounter the hippopotamus who owns the factory, who is actually evil, controlling consumers with her new products. Soon, some of the bad guys gain control. Shark and Piranha manage to snap them out of their trance, using the power of friendship, and they make an epic escape. However, due to the disasters, they finally land in the last position of the top 10. Later, Wolf discovers that even at number 10, nobody cares, so they become preoccupied with being just petty thieves. Then they discover that a reporter wants to interview them, and it would be a perfect opportunity for them to grow. Then, they accept the interview, where they try to prove they're the baddest, but things don't go well. Piranha gets distracted while driving, Snake, being anonymous, doesn't show off his skills, and Tarantula even accidentally activates destructive things. The reporter wants to cancel everything and not publish the interview, but Wolf convinces her that they'll steal something amazing and she can film everything. However, in their attempt to show off, everything spirals out of control, and the sausage starts following them. They get trapped, and since they can't take the sausage home, they decide to eat it right there to ensure their victory. The reporter publishes the story, and they soon discover that people are starting to recognize them on the streets. The bad guys think about their next heist, but they don't seem to have any good ideas, and they even have a bad night of insomnia. Because of this, Piranha suggests they clean the lair, and in the middle of it all, they start a practice challenge, stealing Snake's hat. However, he gets ahead of them and steals things from the others, who start to lose patience. Snake thinks he's the best thief, while Wolf tries to unclog the pipes, but the others keep flushing the toilet. At the same time, the other three, working as a team, manage to take Snake's hat, discovering that they're all good thieves. Wolf, tired, enters and finds they've flushed more things down the toilet, so he teaches them a lesson. 5 Then, the bad guys pull off a heist, but the problem is they get caught because of a mistake by Tarantula. They spend a few days locked up. When they get back home, Lobo starts improving the plan so it doesn't happen again. Tarantula notices that no one is taking her seriously and realizes it's because she failed. So, to fix this, Tarantula brings in a legendary thief, an expert in escapes. He starts teaching them a few tricks, but some of them think he's just tricking them for food and shelter, especially since he charges a lot. Then, Lobo discovers this and catches him. Snake also has doubts and catches him in the same spot. Little by little, only Tarantula remains. She finds out that he sold them out to the authorities, so they go to try to save them. They manage to escape, but they're still in the patrol car. Luckily, Tarantula manages to save them, and they end up running after the con artist thief, while telling Tarantula how valuable she is to the team. 6. Next, the bad guys go on another heist at a lab, where Snake accidentally falls into a capsule and ends up shrinking to a miniature size. Then, they plan to steal a crown, using Snake's adorable nature as a distraction. They manage to find the most valuable items, including the crown, and the others infiltrate the lab in disguise to try and steal it. Meanwhile, Snake discovers that they already love him like a son and that he will inherit many more riches. Because of this, he betrays the team to remain as the son, so Wolf pretends to be the legitimate son to ruin his plans. This leads to a competition among them, as Wolf wants to save the others, so Snake uses him to get Boar to discover his true identity. However, Snake runs out of time and reverts to normal, so all the bad guys, now united, decide to escape. Boar lets them go, but only asks Snake if he was a good father. Snake confesses that he was the best, so he decides to adopt many children. Chapter 7. Later, we see that the Night Owls manage to steal a large ruby, but what they didn't know is that the bad guys beat them to the heist, who then publicize the feat. Unfortunately, the car breaks down and they have to go into hiding. However, the Owls catch Tarantula, while the others try to escape, but they too are caught, leaving only Tarantula and Snake repairing the car. Luckily, the others manage to escape thanks to Wolf's agility, so the Owls go after their ruby, but in the middle of the chase, although the Owls flee, they find themselves in the territory of the Crazy Goats, who also want the ruby. So, they hand over the ruby to be freed, but they have to complete an extra challenge to leave. Their friends, with the partially repaired car, complete it, while Wolf takes the opportunity to steal the Crazy Goat's horn, which now prevents them from gathering without it. Chapter 8. Later, the boys discover that Snake is hiding something, so they secretly follow him, finding out he's going to see his mother, the legendary thief Serpentina. She reveals that for generations they've been solitary thieves, and Snake broke that tradition by forming a team. As a memento, she hid a ball for him, so she gives them a challenge. If they manage to steal it, she'll leave him alone, but if they fail, Snake will have to leave the bad guys. The problem is, no matter how hard they try, Serpentina knows all the tricks, and they fail many times. Because of this, Snake decides to return to his mother. There, remembering the bad guys, he realizes they're more than friends. To get Snake back, they manage to steal the ball for him, proving they're more than a team, they're family, and they let Serpentina know they'll take care of him. Chapter 9. Later, the bad guys continue their heists, but it seems they're accumulating a fortune. Lobo discovers that his mentor, the thief Puma, left him a letter with instructions on how to steal some gold bars, as they want to be on the list of the worst of the worst. However, to achieve this, they need to steal 5 items that very night to obtain the code. So, the guys split up to buy time, but unfortunately, Piranha destroys their hideout, and the Owls steal everything. Meanwhile, the gang members see that the Owls have the last digit of the code, so they go after them where Tarantula is competing in computer games, and they soon manage to obtain the complete code. This gives them access to the storage unit Puma left them, but it's empty. They discover that Puma didn't leave the gold bars. However, they realize that this is because the greatest treasure is them as a team. They also realize that Puma has left them a new and better hideout. But wait, in a final scene, we see that Puma did hide the gold bars there, but it seems he has other plans.